And we're live.
Hello, hello. You're listening to the Goggler podcast. Ian, Bahir, and Uma with you. It's a Monday night, so you know this is a very special episode of the podcast because it warranted getting our butts, into these seats and, speaking to you on a Monday night. So there must have been something in particular that raised our ire
Are we are
and
we are we doing
caused
a,
us
a
to
Dune spoiler
rage.
cast? Did we watch Dune? Did we see Dune? What are we doing? What is this? Carnage? That Venom? What is? I didn't get the memo. I was asleep. What?
Well, hang on. Technically, this was venomous. You know, just saying,
Hey,
hey,
hey.
woo. This was
So,
pretty freaking venomous.
over the weekend, the three of us sat down and watched Frontliner, which is a new Malaysian movie that dropped on Netflix.
Oh.
And can I just say to Netflix, can I have my money back, please? I would like my money back now. I mean, wow. Anyway, before we get into it, let me tell you what this is about. It is, as the title implies, a story about frontliners. with an
No.
S.
This is about Frontliner. This is because the movie title makes it very clear. This is about Frontliner.
And
Just
we will
the
get,
one.
and we will explain that, and that is a very good point, and that is a spoiler, and we will be getting to spoilers very quickly because fuck this movie, you don't need to see it. So, but anyway, before we get to spoilers,
Yeah. Sorry, Uma, you were saying you were talking.
I was
you were
saying.
setting this up. Yeah.
I was saying,
Apologies.
just a brief
Yeah,
setup.
yeah.
It'll take about
Yeah,
15
go for it.
seconds because that is
Sure.
all you need
Yeah.
to understand what this movie is about.
Mhm.
Three frontliners and their plight during what the little synopsis says was the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic in Malaysia.
Sorry, quickly jumping in. The synopsis says that.
The synopsis says,
Okay,
well,
so
actually,
the movie doesn't say.
actually, wait, hold on. The
Okay. Sorry.
The
Yeah.
synopsis says something.
this is
that's
why we
completely-
don't podcast on a Monday.
No, but no, wait. The synopsis says something that isn't even in the movie at all. It says
Oh.
several characters, including medical personnel and food delivery riders,
There is
play
one.
their part
There's
in
one.
Malaysia's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic in the first few months.
Okay.
Anyway, so
Anyway, hi Amelia. Thanks for telling us. Thanks for watching it, so the rest of us don't have to.
It's what we do. It's our service.
It's our
Yeah.
burden.
Sure.
So yeah, it's
we're taking one for all the teams.
yeah. So it's it's okay. So we got a doctor that
Yes.
that a doctor who's doctors. We don't see him do much doctoring, but he's a bit of it.
Yeah.
Hey, very early in the film, he jumps on the bed and pretends to give someone CPR. Even the briefest of research on YouTube will show you how to properly do CPR. But no, it's okay. He's just standing on the bed and pumping someone's chest, going, "Don't you dare! Don't you dare go!" Because he saw it on ER that one time.
Yeah, they got the emoting, didn't get the technical. So first off, we should say very importantly, medical disclaimer. We have nothing against frontliners. None of what you're about to hear is intended against frontliners. Of all the people who have made our lives worth living for the last 2 years, you've all done a fantastic bang up job, and we
Yes.
couldn't love you more, and we give all our support. And it's horrifying what many of you had to go through, and it's horrifying that we had to go through this movie. But we're going to have to tear it to shreds. None of which is directed at the professions involved. Maybe the actors,
Yeah.
definitely the writers, and definitely the
Yes.
director.
Yes.
Because that's a very good point, Uma. The medical accuracy in this movie, it's absolutely atrocious.
Yeah. Listen,
Yeah.
it's not just the medical accuracy, right? It is how wrong they got the coronavirus and the depictions of how it spreads. There is just zero accuracy on that front, or it's bordering on irresponsible.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I disagree. I don't think it borders on irresponsible. I think it is irresponsible because, like you said, so here's my thing, right? Like, I didn't read the synopsis. So as I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, why don't these people already know this? Okay, sure, I'm 2 years ahead of this movie, but the movie doesn't tell me when this happened. If the movie had said in the movie it happened early last year, middle last year, where we still were having issues with like social distancing. People didn't know what the PKP was and the movement order was.
Right.
Fine, but you don't set it up like that. And then to suddenly get these people sort of get COVID and transmit each other and move it along and dying, and it just feels irresponsible because it feels like you're just saying this is what happens. You kind of have to, give it up to God and just sort of accept it and just hope you don't get it.
That is the key. This whole movie is, I thought it was going to be propaganda because you do get to see a hell of a lot more cops doing cop shit, like mending fucking checkpoints, than you see doctors doing medical stuff.
Also tackling kids in the field because
football tackle. That was like the director saying.
That was a great fucking sliding.
There's a football pitch in the background.
Why is that even in the movie? Was there a pandemic of children hanging out in parks?
Yeah. I mean,
and why isn't that lady ever wearing a fucking mask?
Also, why are there no cops arrested for having ganja and parties back at the station? Like what happened in real life.
Because,
twice!
Real life.
At least twice!
Yeah.
Wait, just to go back to what you were saying, Bahir. Even in the early days, while a lot of us masses were uninformed,
yeah,
the doctors, the nurses, and the frontliners did have a lot of information, unlike the frontliners depicted in this film, who didn't seem to know what was going on.
Yeah, no one knows what's going on. No one knows the motivation for their scene. No one knows what they're supposed to be doing. Everything is the most childish bullshit drama. Like, they've seen other shows. And again, I talked about, not again, I've just mentioned this the afternoon, separately. People online haven't seen this. Hang on, wait, check comments. Oh, there's God loads of comments. Fuck. It's all from people we know. It's fine. It's fine. I'll just close that window for now.
We'll ignore them for now. Yeah,
but it has all these stories, and it wants to do that feel-good story or learn something story of like all these different. It's like the Malaysian Frontliner crash, if you will. All these stories that we're gonna or Amoros Perros that come together, but like they don't explain some of these people.
How are
live
you
opposite each other.
mentioning those other movies in the same breath? Amoros Perros and Crash.
I'm trying to say nice. I'm trying to say nicer things before I get to the bottom of my list of shit, which is it's long. It's so long.
That's a reach, dude. That's a reach.
But it's supposed to have all these things, and it wants that imagery of all the frontliners with their gear passed out in the hallways, which I don't know when this was made, but I have my ups and downs of the TV show New Amsterdam, but the opening to season 3 was 10 minutes of some of the most beautiful work I've ever seen on television on getting these actors to portray what the frontliners went through. And what the frontliners went through, especially the medical ones, which this movie doesn't bother with at all, was the trauma of dealing with people dying in front of you every day and not being able to do anything, rooms full of people, hallways full of people on respirators, running out of oxygen, all this kind of thing, choking to death, families on phones and talking to their family and saying goodbye to their parents and loved ones via phone, if it was even available, something that probably didn't happen in a lot of places here. And all you get in this is they get given out to by the head doctor. That's all that happens to the medical practitioners in this. Poor Rena. I feel for Rena.
Ian McNally, you forgot that we had frontliners lying on stairs like they were dying after a zombie apocalypse
7 minutes of this movie.
In this film.
Yeah.
That was supposed to depict the tiredness and the trauma they felt. Now listen.
Oh yeah, I know, but they don't do anything else apart from that. Like, oh look, they're tired. You don't get to see the actual frontliners' issues.
And I understand that New Amsterdam has a lot more money. Sure. Fine.
Oh no, but it's not even that. It's not even the money. It comes down to like using standing sets. They have a hospital set in this that they use quite well enough.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's in. Start with the night. If you can't say something nice, we can start with something nice. It's in focus. It's well lit. They use a hospital set, but like they show people passing out in the hallway. That's great. Show what led them to passing out in the hallway. It never goes anywhere near that because it's all about these guys, and it is guys. That's the other element of this. It is incredibly.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait. It's
Jumping
Malay
ahead.
guys.
Yeah, sorry.
Malay guys.
It's Malay guys. So yeah, it's incredibly sexist, racist, and toxic. This movie.
Of course, you purport to be a Malaysian movie that's going to depict the Malaysian cost of the pandemic, and the only Indian guy I see is a guy getting food aid in one of the montages because you know what? That's what we are, right? Just poor and need aid. Meanwhile, you can't. The Dr. Rina, the only Chinese actor in the film is covered head to toe in PPE the whole time,
You sure
and
she's
you
Chinese?
don't get to see her face. Well,
Can I-
the actor's name is Chinese, so that's
But
possibly
she
it.
also gets the best line in the movie. She
Which
just gets
is-
to walk up to the doctor and say, "Pensive much?" when his wife is dying of COVID.
Yeah, that's true.
but
And
even
don't
then, I
even
think it's not-
bother with the Sabahan and Sarawakian point of view, because you're
No,
never going to
I-
get that in this
I
movie,
think,
No.
right?
I think even with Rina, it's not fair because you tell me the actress is Chinese, but her name is Rina. I don't know any Chinese people named Rina.
Yeah.
Oh, I
And-
just
I know
based it off the
several
credits.
Malay-
Exactly.
I know several Malay people named Rina.
And
but
she's
I don't know.
saying Assalamu alaikum all the time, and that
Yeah,
she's
so
making
it's
Muslim
obviously
pronunciations
she's
all the
not.
time, so it's not that.
Yeah, so you're right. I think it's unfair. I think it's stupid. I think this movie is.
This
I don't
movie,
know.
when you say this movie is lifted from the headlines, it is lifted directly from a 240 character tweet. No one bothered reading beyond that tweet.
It's the-
Because
know,
they
I
may have read the story that one time about a police officer who was sleeping outside his house because he was afraid of getting his wife infected,
Yeah.
and then didn't bother to follow through on that story
Yeah.
and find out what was actually going on, because
He was
she's
stumping the maid,
feeding
and she
him.
threw him out the
Yeah.
window. She threw him out of the house. It was just happened to happen around COVID.
She's feeding him through the grill and then proceeds to open the grill and have a chat. Neither of them wearing masks.
Yeah, yeah.
But here's my thing. Here's my comment earlier about when was this movie set, because I can imagine that's the kind of thing that was happening during the early times. But you've also got issues with like kids being bored at home as if they've been there the whole time. You've got issues with like parents saying, one of the parents not getting the fees from her school. So
Yeah.
when is this period? Because there's some confusion as to what do people on the ground know and what do people don't. Because I
Why
remember
are you
very
looking
early
for
on-
coherence? There is none.
No, I know. I completely agree with you. But what I'm saying is that just that would have helped. I think
Yeah.
just a little bit would have given the audience some setup to this.
But that would require some
Ability, skill, thought, thinking, brain power.
yes, ability to
All of
write
the
is
above?
what I was going
Ability
for.
to write
Yeah,
is the
or all
main
of the
thing, yeah,
above.
because everything that happens in this movie, this is like Straw Man, the movie. Like there's every single setup in this movie is a scene where it's a setup for actual drama. They have a wife who suffers from anxiety and her
Yeah.
school is not paying. I mean, I would just again, fuck you, pay me. You haven't paid your fees for 2 months. Your son is no longer getting online classes. I can do that. There's a button. But also anxiety. The son is just like, I'm bored. That's all of it. Like that's it. I'm bored. The wife is anxious. The husband is cop.
Yes.
Now we are going to take these three characters. It's like whose line? It's like bad. Whose line is it anyway? Right? You take
Yeah.
these three characters, put them in a room together. The cop cannot come into the room. The son cannot leave out. And action. And they just are like, I'm so much problems. And it's like, well, just you. It's not like you need to deal with them. It's like he's trying to be supportive, but no one is saying what the actual fucking problems are. Like I'm so
Yeah.
bored. It's like, right, paint your fucking room. Build a. I'm buying some supplies from IKEA with the 728 ringgit I have left in the bank. Dude, this like it's just I'm bored. It's like I've read all my books, and it never goes to that level. I've read every book I own.
No.
I've finished Minecraft. You can finish Minecraft. I finished it. Something that no detail
No.
goes into any of that. It's just like
Yeah.
I'm bored, and it keeps falling back on. I'm bored. You've no idea how bored I am. The boredom. I am boredom, and it's like, okay, kid, we get it, but please fuck
Thank
off.
you.
Yeah.
But also, even that moment in the film where the wife gets an anxiety attack is depicted and written by someone who thought they saw an anxiety attack once on television. Right?
They also got it
it's the
confused with
director
taking
going-
acid.
Yeah, because it's the director going, oh, you know what we'll do? We'll make her shake a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll blur the corners of the screen to show that
Yeah.
she's losing focus, right? And there are so many layers of
She just
disrespect
chews her
in
fucking
that
nails.
depiction.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
insane. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
even the most cursory reference on the internet, the most cursory amount of research. I'm so angry.
angry.
My AirPods fell out of my ear.
The steam
His
popped it
AirPods
out of
was
your
one.
ears.
I'm fucking out of this.
Perfectly.
I'm noping out of this
Yes,
so quick.
The most cursory amount of research on the internet will explain to you exactly what an anxiety attack is like and how you overcome it. Sure, the husband's telling her to breathe, but there is one line in the previous episode of Ted Lasso which explains that breathing exercise far better than anything.
Oh no,
that was
but
in
but
this film.
you're comparing this to
I'm not.
any
It's just
depiction of
anything.
No, but you're right.
Any
And,
depiction of
and it
anything.
comes down to the lead we're burying is that like someone fucking catches COVID from blood, and they played Jaws music when she's touching someone who has
Oh my
a
God.
cut, and it's like
I-
what?
In
What?
our
No,
review
sorry,
on the
what?
site,
I didn't get a
linked to
chance
the
to read it yet.
CDC site.
Yes.
Because with the FAQ telling you that COVID is a respiratory disease,
I need
and
that
there
way.
is not enough evidence to prove that you can catch it via bodily.
I think
fluid.
this is the second week. What was it? I can't remember what it was last week because once we do a podcast, it's just gone from my brain, which I'm looking forward to with this movie. I need a slide that just says if you've done 5 minutes research. Because there was something last week where it was like 5 minutes research. I did less than 5 minutes research on two things. One was, can you catch COVID from blood? No, you fucking can't.
And here's the funny thing, right? Like again, I'm making the grave mistake of trying to logic my way through this. I'm because I was watching it with my wife, and like my wife was like, I mentioned, where did she get it from? And she was like, my wife was turned to me with, no, but everybody was masked. The food delivery guy.
Don't name them. Do not give them any free advertising. They're a real company.
I'm not saying the brand.
Because this movie, sidebar, Your Honor, they do have on this movie the Finas logos, the company logo, and the advertisers' logos is before the cast.
Of course.
That tells you everything you need to know about this movie.
Because Malaysia.
Yeah, continue.
Wait, not only that, Bahir, before you continue, the Alpha Legacy, Sindri and Berhad, I want to mention their name because they are listed as one of the writers of this film.
Story
that
by
is
credit. Yeah.
bullshit. Not even a story by credit. I
Isn't
think
that
they
story by?
listed under writing.
Oh, writing. Oh.
Bah!
No, but that makes perfect sense because you know.
How? Why?
You know that saying about too many cooks in the kitchen? This is exactly that movie. The entire company decided to write this word for word. So they literally, somebody wrote a word down, passed it to the next guy.
It's Mad Libs.
Table.
I don't know,
It's just
man.
fucking Mad Libs.
No,
This
it's
is
not.
just
I don't
all
think.
over
I
the
don't think it
fucking
is because you can definitely feel the authorial intent, and that where the whole authorial intent is that, like, you know, God says "fuck you" to this guy for no reason because we have not known this character before the beginning of this movie. At the end, he's like, there's a flashback. It's like, oh no, I caused all these people to get COVID. And it's like, this is fine if you want to do your religious parable where it's like, you know, you need to have Doctor Strange at the beginning. He doesn't even get to drive into the lake. You know what I mean? He doesn't like get to have, oh, I'm the best. It's just like he tells someone politely to be polite to a doctor, which is also fuck you.
Yeah. Fuck you, man.
The
Fuck
other
that guy.
thing with the authoritarian intent is that like women are either burdens or fucking dead. That's what this movie tells you, right?
Wait,
Many times
guys, tell me
both at
this.
once.
No.
Tell me this. Could you work out if the husband was accusing the wife of cheating on him?
Yes.
Or whether... Or accusing her of breaking quarantine and meeting up with someone, because that was unclear.
In English, maybe it's unclear in Malay. In the English subtitles, he says, "Have you been seeing someone behind my back?" And that's pretty fucking clear.
Yeah.
And the other aspect
here's
is
the thing.
when he has to
There's
go
a translation thing. Yeah, I think it's a translation thing. Because,
but when he goes into quarantine,
yeah.
When he goes into quarantine, this is what I feel kind of shows the mindset of the makers, because he is so bummed about that. Not because he's worried about his patients or any of that kind of shit, because you've only seen him at one patient. That guy carked it, so he's fine.
Yeah.
His days free. His weekdays are free from now on.
It's clear now. Yeah, his bits full. Yeah.
But he's so sad about that because something came between the man and his purpose. That's what I got from this feeling. This movie is all about, like, you know, even Nasir and his mom. It's like his mom is being such a nag, and he's also like a massive dipshit for, like, he calls his mom because he sees an old lady freaking out, and the line of dialogue that you're hearing in your head already because you've seen it 1,000 times before is, "Mom, I just called to say I love you. Things are getting rough." You know, that is a conversation. That is your starter for 10.
Yeah.
That is what you would get. That is what you would get on the shittiest of daytime soaps.
No, but here's the problem.
What you get here
We're
is
talking about international daytime soap.
Yeah.
This is exactly RTM daytime soap. This is perfect to that. Like from the fucking 24-minute Fade to Blacks that's throughout this fucking film. It's the longest goddamn Fade to Blacks I've ever fucking seen in my life. Christ almighty. And it's just like this is drama Melayu. This is RTM level 1990s bullshit. Because, like, for example, my thing is with the mother. she's played as a single note nag of like, oh, when are you going to come and see me? I'm so sad. You don't.
I'm
love
going
me.
to die any minute now, primarily to
Yeah.
spite you, my
but
responsible
it's also-
son with a good job and prospects in the police force.
So exactly, you're right. And like I said, like you were saying earlier, Ian, there is no thought through all this, right? He's not a new cop, so the mother should know the duties of a police officer.
Yeah.
Even pre-COVID, if you had to look after a roadblock for 12 hours, it's what you do. Why the mother? Oh, you've been there all day. You're not resting.
And there is you can do that storyline as well. The mother is a nag, not understanding thing. You can do that, but it needs it needs you to commit to that as a thing as well. And it doesn't do that either. It just kind of goes this shitty line. And did she kill herself? Sorry, spoilers again. Did she kill herself at the end?
No. I think.
Yeah,
I think. I think this movie.
Timing.
No. This movie clearly has absolutely no respect for medical science because mother dies after she takes a pill, and then at the very end, that guy's wife dies after the doctor says, "Hey, everything's great with your wife. She's gonna live."
And then she dies immediately afterwards.
And then she
Immediately.
dies
Oh,
Within
that
seconds.
yeah.
And that was the second thing. So you're not supposed to be You can be contagious with COVID anywhere. Again, this is from the CDC, this was the CDC. From 2 to 14 days, you can be infectious, and you're usually a few hours before that. Sorry, 2 to 14 days symptoms show, because I like to check my data. I check these things. I don't like to correct myself if I'm wrong.
Make shit up.
Yeah, and then it might be a little bit before that you get to, you can be contagious. So, like, he picked his wife up in the car and then he immediately gave COVID to everyone at the police stop. Which, oh my God, that's the other. So we've talked about, we'll come back to how much it hates women, this movie, because we will, but we have to talk about the umbrella of doom.
Oh, it's great. That was great.
Well, there's
beautiful.
two, my friend. I don't know if you have a screenshot, but there's the umbrella of doom, and then there's the very sad way the cop looks down at his meal because he's so upset that his rice got soaked.
I didn't have time to put both in, so it was either the umbrella of doom or the Nazi Lamak of sadness.
Yeah.
But it's so fucking weird. Again, I didn't put that slide in either, but at the end of this movie it says, "We are all human." Oh no, thank you. We are all human. We are all human. Thank you, frontliners, right?
Yeah,
Something,
correct.
yeah.
The kind of thing you would only have from an alien filmmaker trying to, prove that they're not an alien. And this whole
Who,
scene...
me?
This
I
whole-
know humanity.
This whole
I have
scene...
compassion.
Yeah, this whole scene is like, it's all... I have learned much from your human movies, from the historical records. It is very emotional when raining, as taught to me by your real people, Andy McDowell and Hugh Grant. So it just starts fucking raining out of nowhere. His Nazi Lamak gets wet. The umbrella blows away, and they treat it like it's the sinking of the fucking Titanic.
They do. He is so fucking sad.
How about an umbrella?
Nazi Lama. An umbrella.
No, but it's that saving of the umbrella. You're right. It just feels so dramatic. We
It's
must
like,
stop
grab
this
the fucking umbrella.
It's
Three
fucking...
people pulling this.
It's
Oh,
fucking like
God.
it's Letters from Iwo Jima, for God's sake. It's the guy, they're doing that with an umbrella in the rain. Cops don't, they're like Roombas. They stop working in the rain, right? They just go indoors.
Yeah.
They have
pretty
they have
much,
a
yeah.
perfectly good tent
Yeah.
to sit in. Yeah. We'll
Yeah.
get it when it stops raining. And oh my God! And then there's that one guy who he's nowhere near the umbrella of death. He's just like gaping head wound.
Something
falls
must
in
have
his
flown,
head.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah. Oh my
And they
God.
suddenly turn around and they're like, oh my God, man down.
Oh my God!
No man left behind. And I
No,
think
but-
it's that. It's
But hey, just to go back to what you were
Oh,
saying a
God.
second ago, and Ian, just to double down on what you were saying, I think it's all right to play the mother doesn't understand card,
Yeah.
but in a movie like this, it just boils down to the cliche that she doesn't know it because she lives in the compound.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Right?
but
and
that's my
and
problem,
that,
right? Yeah,
that's
exactly.
fucking lazy writing.
Oh, yeah.
Because
It's not just for me. It's not just lazy. For me, it's irresponsible.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's dangerous because now I don't know what anybody's thinking about their aunts and aunties back and their aunts and uncles and grandparents back home. That's not fair because look, they may not have gotten the information. Sure, there may be some really whiny, nagging, fucking people back in the kampung. Sure, but in this instance, there was no. What is the message here? The mother died before knowing anything.
God
What is the
hate
message here?
God hates doctors.
yeah,
Yeah, but, and I
But
think-
that's
and
actually
what
the
I'm saying,
message.
but for me, that's the problem. That's the irresponsibility because now people are watching this going, yeah, I'm hoping people don't watch this. Please, please don't watch this.
That scene
don't
where
watch this movie.
when Nasir comes back home and his mom comes to greet him, she's so happy, and it's like she comes and he has to stop her, and it's like, this is a teachable moment, right?
Yes,
this
exactly.
this is where they sit down and they have the food together, and it's sad, and they're passing bowls back and forth with gloves, and that can be a thing that can be easily fuck it.
But that's the thing, right?
There is drama within that.
Yeah.
There is drama
Yes.
within the doing a good deed, and I mean they don't even go into the detail that the doctor feels guilty. He might feel some kind of guilt that his pregnant wife got COVID, because there's a hint of that, right? It's never really there, right?
I mean,
only at the very end. Yeah,
they put
exactly.
it as a post fucking script at the end, right?
And then,
why would you need end title cards? Because nobody gives a shit about what happens to these characters.
Yeah, but he has. I think some of his did you go meet someone behind my back thing was guilt about, did you meet someone behind your back, or did I bring this home from work? I thought there was going to be a hint of that. And then that disappears, and then they bring it back that oh no, it was you that killed everybody, or might have killed everybody.
Was it? What? Hang on.
No,
sorry.
But Ian,
that's the
doesn't he just
flashback.
double down? But doesn't he just, when he says that, did you go see people behind my back?
Yeah.
Doesn't he just then double down on the fact of, are you questioning my job? Don't you know what I have to do?
When he's on his iPhone, when he screencasts his iPhone album of sadness onto the big screen, and he watches his now dead wife. I thought they were sorry. I'm not qualified in any way. Sorry, button was over something. It's okay. I'm no way qualified. I have seen, I have recently, beginning of this year, rewatched all of House, and I have also, in the past watched ER. I seriously
that makes you halfway.
I seriously thought they were going to save the baby, and I thought that was going to be
too much work.
He would, we couldn't get a baby. Fuck it, kill them both. Like that would be, that's the guilt thing. He's rocking the baby back and forth, watching the videos, and that's when she's like, I helped this guy with this food, and then I washed myself with. They love washing themselves in gardens with hoses in this movie, and while the Jaws theme played, so you knew something bad was happening, and that's the. But then
my nose.
Yeah, but then she went like that. No one knows what the symptoms of COVID are in this fucking movie. There's people cough and then they die. It's it's instant. There's no rubbing of noses on. But sorry, I'm getting carried away. Then he flashes back to see. He picks her up and puts her in the car. Bam! They should just put targets on the screen. You got COVID. And then he gets in the car and those guys are dealing with the umbrella situation in the rain. And he's out and he shouts at them, but they put music over it so you don't hear it. He just shouts at them, I've got my wife. She's got COVID. And they're like, come on, we'll get some guys. So he breathes on those guys in the rain. And that's how, he puts it all together in his head at the end. So God gave him COVID via his wife and punished him for being, I don't know, nice.
A doctor.
You say that, yeah, and I think that's fair until the end title cards come up, because the title cards never explain anything of that. The title card specifically says
he's dealing with
feels
guilt of his wife.
Bad because he accused his wife.
Yeah.
So that's all he felt bad about.
Yeah.
Sure, the couple of seconds prior to that, there was this massive flashback sequence about him seeing all these people who he now sees in the hospital with COVID. But it says nothing about him feeling guilty about giving anybody COVID. So, based on this, I don't know what to think. Who gave who COVID?
Oh no, I think it's clear. But again, it comes into that. It all feeds into this thing of that they feel for some reason God wanted to fuck this guy up. It feels like a very vengeful God storyline that they wanted to tell.
Yeah.
Everyone's very. They put shots of all the cops not attending the checkpoint. They're all praying in the big tent, and not the small one with the umbrella that fell over, because that one's prone to fall over. So they do it in the big, the weatherproof tent.
That one, yeah. I don't know. I mean, I resent. I don't feel there was any religiosity here. I think for me, the use of religion was the mother being a pain in the ass. For just being that. And I think that was bullshit.
In this movie, the use of religion was there simply because you cannot make a movie like this without mentioning God, right? So they're almost throwaway lines, because you can tell that they're trying to lean into the idea of the pandemic and Frontliners. No, not even.
It's a test sent by God. I think this is what it is. It's a test sent by God. This guy survived the test. Everyone around him dead. They didn't
No, but
survive
I
the
didn't
test.
even buy that. I didn't even buy that it was a
Yeah.
test sent by God. I think the constant repetition throughout this film, every 5 or 10 minutes, that, we have to fight this. We are in it together. It felt like they were trying to make a propaganda piece that they could hopefully sell to the government to make some money, but no one bit.
Yeah.
I read an interview where they said, it was supposed to be on Astro first, but due to unforeseen circumstances, it wasn't. And then it was shunted onto Netflix. I mean, even when Astro goes, fuck this shit, we ain't having it on our network. God knows they buy anything, right?
Also,
And they went, nah. I mean, that should tell you something.
I'm gonna quickly jump in because I read that producers sort of Facebook post, right, about how they collected money and all that stuff, pulled it together and all that. Okay.
But you don't get points for trying, right?
Hang on.
I'm sorry to be harsh, but
I spoke to a producer friend of mine, and the fact that there's a FINAS logo at the end invariably means there's funding.
Mm-hmm.
So
if not, why put the FINAS logo, right?
If not, why put the FINAS logo? Because
you
the
have to.
KKM logo as well, right? The Kementerian Kesihatan Malaysia
I
logo is there as well.
I feel like that's funding. And look, yes, you collected funding. You collected funding by going for meetings with all these people and asking for money. Is not collecting funding. That's just getting funding from filmmakers, from the film body in Malaysia, and from the medical government arm, which essentially means you're making propaganda. So you got no pity from us. You didn't ask your mother for 3,000 ringgit to make this movie. So no.
How do you fuck up propaganda for the medical fucking profession
This-
after a
this is
pandemic?
Actually, to be fair, I think the KKM has put out better propaganda than this. Right?
Yeah.
Like in the sense that when I'm watching this, for me, my sister's a frontliner. She's not a frontliner in Malaysia. She's a frontline in the UK, and she's been dealing with COVID patients ever since COVID last March, right?
Yeah.
And yes, you live in fear that every day she could come back and text you and go, crap, I got the COVID. And because England was like Malaysia in the sense that it took them a long time to get full PPE. Yeah. She was using the garbage bags, and she didn't have like the clear face coverings and all of that stuff for a long time. But at no point did her husband say, you need to sleep outside. Because they had the information that you come back home, you take off your clothes, put it in the washing machine, you have a nice shower, and then you're fine.
Yeah.
Prison rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1970s,
Exactly.
1970s ladies' prison movie rules.
Exactly.
Everybody hit the showers.
In the garage, right? But if you're getting that basic piece of information wrong, I don't call that creative license for drama.
No. It's massively incompetent. That this movie fell out of the incorrect tree and hit every branch on the way down.
Correct. And also, more so, given the responsibility that this movie has. I'm okay if it's a piece of fiction and they stretch the limits of believability. But this movie claims to represent frontliners in this pandemic, which means you have a responsibility
mostly
not just
cops.
to the truth, but to be factually accurate, right?
But mostly cops. It's like there's 2 cops and 1 doctor, right?
Yeah. It's what you said earlier, Umar. This was taken from the headlines. This literally was taken from headlines. They didn't read the article. They just read a bunch of headlines and put it together into a movie. And I think that's partly and that's the problem. And again, I go back to why this is irresponsible, because we're not done yet. We're still in it. And no matter how many actors you get on screen to tell me we have to keep fighting for country, you are fucking this up. The film, is screwing this up for everybody. I think your messaging is irresponsible. I think your messaging is dangerous. And I think nobody should watch this movie. And I think Netflix should. I think I put this on Netflix. I love Netflix. This is bad.
That's a point where I want to say that's a point. We've got plenty of anger in the tank, but I think we should take a quick break to acknowledge the people who are commenting online that aren't that aren't your partners, because they're just talking to each other. Amanda, Najwa, how are you? Yeah, apparently, Uma, you were very angry. Apparently, according to Amanda, Najwa's like she loves New Amsterdam. Good on you. Derek Lim says, please have an interview with the director.
Amanda had to leave the room because I was making too much noise.
And that's what she's put on the comments on YouTube, so now everyone knows that forever. You're an angry man. Derek Lim says, can we have please have an interview with the director and anyone involved with the movie? Love to hear it. Hani Hedaya just says, ha 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 ha. That was, I think, just stuff earlier. The Umbrella Doom got some love. Mostly laughs at that. Demi Nagara? Laugh their face? What was that?
Oh,
It's
for
just,
country.
like,
It means for
so it's-
country.
Every time there was a speech about how we have to keep fighting,
Yes.
it's Demi Nagara.
Yeah.
For the
It's for
country.
the country.
Oh yeah. Hani also says, "Man down," but I'm a be sad about the Nazi Lemak first. So that's got to be a meme, right?
Oh, well,
To be fair, we've all felt that pain before when our drink accidentally spills in our Nazi Lemak.
Yeah.
nope,
A
never
A
happened
single
to me. I'm a
tear
professional.
rolls down my cheek.
I'm a professional. Never happened to me before.
and,
I just say?
a combo between Amanda and Amir Sharman. Amanda said you could turn it into a drinking game, and he suggested a Demi Nagara drinking game, where every time Demi Nagara
Yeah.
said you can drink. I mean, normally I get through 2 beers on a 2 hour and a half, 2 hour long podcast, and I'm on number 2 already here because this movie,
and that's not counting all the beers you've had while watching this movie.
I couldn't. I was too busy like screen grabbing and going what, and then taking the shot and then coming back and what.
Okay,
Can I
To go back to what-
I just want to quickly embarrass my wife. There was a moment.
Sorry,
This should be a regular segment on the
It
podcast.
should be a
Mark-
regular segment. Let's do that. Yeah.
Mark the time. I can put a timestamp in the show notes.
Yeah, put a timestamp on that. Yeah. So there was a moment when so at the end of the film when the wife passes. So Muslim rites, you have to sort of wrap the body.
Yeah.
But before you do that, you're supposed to sort of cleanse the body, right? You're supposed
Yeah.
to wash it down and all that stuff. But because of COVID and you're not supposed to touch the body, you can do alternative methods of cleansing. So what the doctor did was, just to sort of explain to everybody.
I was
what
going to
the
ask
doctor
because I had
does
no
was-
fucking clue what was going on there.
Yeah. So
I was going to ask
he's
one of my questions. Uma asked us to prepare questions. One of my questions was, why did he rub all that cocaine on the body?
That was what I wanted to say. So here's the thing. What it's supposed to be is that it's supposed to be ash.
Oh,
So
okay.
he's supposed to sort of cleanse the body with ash. So my wife's first reaction was, what is he doing with all that cocaine?
It did look weird. Oh, it was Fab Perfect. He was going to put it on. Were they going to put the body in the wash first? I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah, so it's just like, so that's what you're supposed to do. But again, that ash is way too white to be ash.
Yeah,
It
it's
looked
real
like
white.
fucking cocaine. My wife was like, why are they doing that with cocaine? It's
It's
such a waste of cocaine.
I swear
it's
to
Colombian
God.
ash, if you know what I mean.
I swear to God, when that lady died and the son shows up outside the graveyard, I was on the floor laughing. There is no sense of empathy or sympathy created at all in that moment when he's just screaming, "Mother, no!"
And it's amazing. I haven't written the review yet, but the Attack of the Killer Hollywood cliches, they get this one right. You know, they did actually got
Yeah.
this one. It's like, was it funerals? We weren't that, funerals from far away. You always have to be far away. This time it's COVID, but like that show that Rob Lowe talks about, there's one of the funerals in Fast and the Furious, and you have McConnell. Who's the guy who plays Connell? Paul Walker is like watching from behind a tree at someone's funeral in one of the earlier ones, and then behind a tree further away is Vin Diesel, because like Logan, your hero can never be at the graveside, right? He's always got to be that little bit away.
Yeah.
And this movie falls into that trope without even trying.
But also,
He's
wait.
like Anchorman. I'm in a scraggy field of emotion.
But also, the body is cleansed.
Mm-hmm.
There is absolutely no reason why the son cannot attend his own mother's funeral.
But
as
that's-
long as
no,
he's
but
had a
that's-
shower beforehand and wears a fucking
No,
mask.
but here's the thing, isn't that because the way that the body was being handled, the assumption is that she didn't die of COVID, right? So obviously the son can do it, right? Isn't that what it is?
I don't know, because they didn't explain whether she died of COVID. Like, showing her eating a pill really badly. They couldn't get a second take on that. She couldn't get the pill out of the box.
She couldn't
She's
get it out of the box.
She's playing with it for a minute, and it's like, oh yeah, just flips it over. And it's like,
It's a flip open tab.
do you know what it was? It was ivermectin. So
Yeah.
so like I got the impression like because right before she dies, it's like like that's it. Like did she rub her nose earlier in the movie?
Yeah.
I think the doctor wife rubbed her nose at one point. I think she was wearing slightly less makeup in the scene, and that's what I wrote down. She gonna die.
She gonna die.
Because her nose looks slightly red. It's like they rubbed it up just before the scene. And action. So I don't know whether she committed suicide because I don't know. And then
That's what my wife thought as well.
I mean,
my wife thought she ate all her
what
pills
is-
and just to commit
what is
suicide.
that pill? That one pill that can just do the trick painlessly.
I mean, maybe she's just going to have a bit of a home disco when she had a bad trip. I don't know. Pop quiz, hot shot.
So to go
What is
back,
the wife's name? The pregnant wife lady. What is her name?
do they even mention her name?
Nina.
Okay, well done, Bahir. Your observation skills. It took 54 minutes for anyone to
never
call
paid
her by
attention.
name.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I was like,
Unimportant.
who is
Names.
this lady? Who is this lady? And
Who
it's like,
cares?
and I only figured out later, like it is the Frontliner cinematic universe that she was on the phone to Nadia at the beginning when she gave the worst suicide prevention advice
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah.
Because they're sisters, right?
Are they
Are
sisters?
they sister? I don't know about their sisters.
I didn't get that at all.
I thought
I
they
didn't
were
get
sisters.
that at all. I thought they were just friends.
Oh.
I just thought they were
Because
friends. I
yet
didn't see
again,
it at all.
that connection doesn't
No.
come back ever again.
No, but like she's
Yeah.
fucking. It's like she's trying to she's half-ass selling her into an MLM. It's like but suicide's not really the way out. But have you tried this? Have you tried new soap? I've got some soap that you should buy and come over and have a look at. Well, come over when COVID's done. I can just send them over now, and I won't charge you for the first batch. But then you have to buy 500. Like it really is like, what the fuck is this? And what's her?
Yeah,
And recruit another 7 people
Yeah, that'd be great.
in your downline. Okay, wait. So the thing about this though, and I talk about this in the review, the thing about this though, it isn't at all surprising, right? Because this movie is par for the course. It is what we're used to when we see a Malaysian production.
Yeah, I want not only do I want off the course, I want to try a different sport in a different season. If this is golf, I want to go into whitewater rafting or
Because-
fucking ice hockey.
Good Malaysian movies are the exception to the rule, and we all know that.
Yes.
It's a rarity, and hell, we celebrate them when they come along. However, this is the kind of thing that usually ends up on RTM or TV3. It plays one time, and then it gets relegated to some phantom zone where telemovie's going to die, right? Never to be seen again. So the question on all of our minds is, why the fuck is this thing on Netflix? Now, let's be clear. We love the brand. We talk about it a lot, right? Because they've given us some really good shit to watch and kept our sanity during this pandemic.
Oh, hang on, wait. This is actually good because I didn't update one slide. But that Sandman show. That Sandman show looks real good. Like we're hyped for that.
Thank you very much. Right, we're super hyped for that. But however, they seem to employ absolutely no discernment, judgment, or taste when acquiring Malaysian content, right? And every streamer seems hell-bent or desperate on getting Malaysian content for an audience that doesn't really give a shit.
But
Because
it's
Malaysians
everywhere.
are very but everywhere else too.
Remember that one time I flew all the way to Mumbai for 24 hours on behalf of the movie, that the content we never put on the website or anything because stuff happened.
But in India, dude, you can understand it. There is a population that craves local content. They love local content, and it has a long and celebrated history of cinema and television.
And they do
we
enough.
We do not have any of that.
They do enough over there as well that there's some hits and there's some misses. It's
No, of course. And
mostly
so
misses.
I go back to, if there isn't, like, are they afraid that the government is going to start imposing quotas? So they're just building up their stable of content in case the Malaysian government turns around and goes, well, Netflix, to operate in Malaysia, you need to have at least 30% Malaysian content. I mean, are they afraid of that? Because God knows, Australia's been talking about that. So that's a potential reality, right? Or
if that's the case, I've got 4 movies they should call me.
There you go. Or
I've got 7, call me.
Or do they just feel like they want to support local Malaysian productions, right?
It's because they want to get the Astro audience. They want to get a local terrestrial audience. They want to get the Auntie and the Kampong, and their marketing, their numbers, their marketing shows them.
Ian, that's bullshit, because the Auntie in the Kampong is not paying for Netflix. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I know.
Honest,
but
most people
they're hoping,
are pirating Money Heist.
Yeah,
right?
so they're hoping that eventually they get them over.
No, it's not. And even if they're paying for Netflix, they're going to be paying for Money Heist or Sandman or something like that.
But
no one is paying to watch Pasal Cow.
No, but the numbers that they have is what works in Malaysia. They look at Astro and they say Pasal Cow is the kind of thing that works. That's the thing that got headlines, that got numbers.
Actually, I disagree. I think it's more cynical than that. I think they know Pasal Cow shit, and they know this is shit, but they also know that they will get this publicity.
Maybe, but look at the pipeline. What's in
the
the pipeline
Twitter
right now?
hate.
There is no good Malaysian. Apologies to anyone who's working on a good Malaysian movie right now. But as far as we know, the last
But they
2
haven't
years,
announced it, right?
2 years
Yeah,
there
no.
has been nothing really that's made. So it is a very shitty pot. So like they're basically
Well,
having a
I'm
conversation
looking-
saying, what do we got? We got movies for all the different regions in Asia. What's coming from Malaysia? Well, we got nothing. We got nothing. We got to go find something. And then someone comes back with Frontliner and says, I found this.
But I know-
Like a cat bringing a dead rat into your house and presenting it to you.
Yeah, but no one. There's no. Dude, they're fucking tastemakers, right?
Yeah.
Like Netflix are tastemakers. They have driven the content throughout this pandemic. With the exception of some Marvel content and Mandalorian, all of the content that has kind of dominated the trends over the last 18 months has primarily been Netflix's content.
And yet they still make Kate.
Well, and Emily in Paris, but even that seemed to dominate the trends, right? No, but just to go back to that, so they're tastemakers, and yet I'm convinced no one actually watched this.
No, but no one knows they're doing. Everyone's we just moved the Hollywood. We just globalized or franchised the Hollywood system, where it's like there's executives.
What Goldman was saying, right?
Yeah, I mean, you put in a company Slack today. It's like, oh my God, Karma Police was a big part of Ted Lasso season 1, and it's back here today. No, the writing crew is probably the same, or the producer likes that song. They probably have a quota from Apple to hit music that will be available on Apple Music.
Yeah.
It's a year later. I still really like Karma Police. It's a decade later. I still really like Karma Police. So these things always play to executives' fascinations, right? Put a spider fight in the third act. It wasn't in Superman Lives, but it managed to be there in the Wild Wild West. So some executive thinks either I have nothing on my slate, I can't turn up to the big meeting. I spent this quarter doing cocaine and hookers and blow, and I didn't do any homework. I have nothing to present at the big board meeting on Monday. I can bring Frontliner to the meeting.
Yeah, but if it's a misguided notion that this is actually being supportive to the industry, it actually does more harm than good, right?
Yeah.
Because every Malaysian filmmaker is out there thinking, I can churn out mediocre shit like this, and the platform will still buy it.
But here's the thing: I'm wondering if it's because of Netflix's preconceived leaning towards analytical data. Because if you do a Google search console thing on this movie, it's going to be up there, right? But it's not going to tell you what people are talking about.
But Bahir, that same data will tell you how Malaysians actually feel about local content. Out of the 40 movie releases on a non-pandemic year, only 3 of them make any money. Every one of them make a colossal loss. In the last 15 to 20 years, production budgets on television shows have not gone up. And the reason for that is because there is no audience. So the studios are going, fuck that. We're still going to pay peanuts because that's all we can afford.
It doesn't
right?
matter.
It doesn't matter. So surely the data tells you that Malaysians are flocking to see the fucking Fast and the Furious, but even Raw, which was a great film,
it was a good movie.
didn't make as much. I know you didn't like it.
Hey, it's good. It's not great. No,
it's much.
It's a good movie, but I don't know whether are you thinking it's good as a Malaysian movie. I was thinking it's good.
It's a great Malaysian film.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for the Malaysian Ring or
the Malaysian movie that kind of transcends.
Yeah, the one that just like that scares the shit out of. And it's
Well, no, we're all still waiting for the Malaysian movie that transcends us having to justify it by saying for a Malaysian movie. Right? But so surely the data shows you all of that as well, right?
Sorry?
No, I mean, I don't think it does. I think it. I know, I saw that. I got it. No, but for me, I think it's just because they do the base. It's the tyranny
of numbers. It's lies, damn lies, and statistics.
Yeah.
People will look at like the Netflix numbers were what? It was Extraction. It was Money High season 4. Season 5 hadn't troubled the top 10.
Yeah.
Remember there was some statistic they did their recent like top whatever. Blind Box, Bird Box. Bird Box was in there. Can you remember the rest of them?
Squid Game. Squid Game was
Squid Game, Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Extraction. Yeah, those things are kind
Extraction
of always there,
Extraction was fine for a Netflix movie. Right?
Yeah.
Like if we'd seen that in the cinema, we would have been kind of mad at A Wasted Morning.
Well, Extraction was fine for a Netflix movie that came out during the pandemic.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I think I think Extraction is a good example because when that movie came out, we saw, and on our Facebook pages and Twitter page, we saw a lot of hate from people from the sub-Indian continent about how it's racist, how it's the white man savior complex,
And how it's
So
shot,
again-
and how it was shot in Thailand as well.
and how
Wasn't even shot in
but
India.
also that the whole thing about Asia being yellow and foggy and dusky and dusty and all that. That was what we were seeing on our own Facebook pages, right? On our posts of extraction. So again, it goes back to the idea of that looks like a lot of engagement, but they're not looking at what kinds of engagement they're getting. Right?
They haven't got a Nielsen box in the corner gauging your levels of hate.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. Right.
as
So
far
it
as
just shows-
as far as Netflix is concerned, we watched all of this movie. We didn't
Yes.
watch the first. What is it they count to watch as the first couple of minutes?
Just-
They
Something
obviously
like
have
that.
they obviously have secret metrics in the background about like people actually got
Yeah.
to the end of this shit. Oh Christ!
yeah.
Put another one in
Yeah.
the can. Frontliner
Can I-
2.
can I-
Front harder.
Can I just say, anybody who's watched this movie, even if you watch 10 minutes of this, can you please do that rating thumbs down thing, just so they know, just so it gets captured somewhere.
But I
Actually-
think it doesn't. I think it doesn't matter, right? And that's where the
Exactly.
this
But it's okay.
disingenuity comes in, right? Because
Yeah.
because for them it's still a watch. It's still
An interaction, It's still an
engagement, whether it's good
yeah.
or bad.
Yeah.
It's still an interaction. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I just want to put on the top. Can we? We have on the top of the website. We have a little headline underneath Goggler.
Yes.
It says 100% COVID free, right? Touch wood.
Which we all still are.
Yeah, I just want to change it to what is it? Yes, thank you, Ian. Cocaine, it's too white, and just have it attributed to Najwa. That's just perfect. Thank you, Ian. Cocaine, it's too white. Out of context. Perfect. Leanna Haley's.
That's my wife, folks.
Yes,
That's my wife.
That's my wife. It's too
Yeah.
white. She's got experience. Leanna
cocaine.
Haley TA is talking about Twisted My Arm for Frontliner. My mum thought I was watching RTM.
Yeah.
Amanda asks, "What do you think the filmmakers do you think the filmmakers think what they put out is mediocre? I.e., with Zombietopia or whatever, that was where the guy thought it was great." Leanna, again, we'll come back to that in a second. Leanna says as well, "You need to tell if a film has a bigger goal in mind, or is the film Siok Sendri? We used to trust writers and directors' quality, but now it's too much Buddha Siok Sendri."
Yeah.
I-
A Saksandiri means just up your own ass. Like, yeah. It's
Yeah.
pat yourself on the back. Well, okay. So here,
Self-congratulatory.
yeah, self-congratulatory. So here's the thing, right? With Frontliner, especially, I think obviously the message is lost in the madness, right?
I don't think so. I come back to what I said earlier. This movie
It hates doctors.
This movie hates doctors and hates women. Like all the women die, or they're burdened. Like the doctor is more put out by the fact that someone has gotten in the way of his passion. You know what I mean? Like when his wife gets COVID and has to go off to quarantine. Yes, he's bummed when she actually leaves the house. But when they're both
Yeah.
put into quarantine, he looks kind of mad, right? They look like he's mad. It's not like this woman is getting in my way. And it's the same a little bit with the cop and the anxiety wife.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like they're all burdens, even they're all burdens on these men. There's no frontliner lady Rena is the starring lady role, and she's just like pensive much.
Yeah.
Ian, men are doing men's work. They're saving the planet, man. Come on. That is what this message
They're
is.
sitting
that
in
is the message
tents,
of this movie.
not eating Lassie Lamac. It got wet.
No, and this is the best part, right? I mean, and this is just, I guess, an approval, location approval situation. But I love how the tent and the police stop is in a road where there is zero traffic,
fucking nothing.
and we don't even know where people are coming from or going to.
At one point, when Nasir gets the phone call, he's like, "We didn't set this up properly. I guess you go around that way if you have to turn around because I'm doing my job. I'm sending you back."
This way, that way. That way.
Also, Nasir gets was it a saga, and everyone else those four cops that have to do the rounds, they have to squeeze in a Myvi.
Also, okay. I just want to ask. Umar, you might know this. Why were their license plates red?
Because they're
Oh no.
cops.
No, but you see, I think it's because they couldn't get PDRM approval. That's why they weren't PDRM.
They were NSA.
National Security Agency,
Yeah,
or something
true.
like that. Even though they were wearing PDRM uniforms or
Yeah.
lookalike
Yeah,
uniforms, right?
true.
And,
So I think-
and the sticker didn't even match the color of the car, so it was really
No,
fucking
it's just a cardboard printout. They just
So-
stuck on the side.
But
Yeah,
sorry,
I think they were
I've been
trying
part
to
of that kind of
do.
conversation,
I think
yeah.
as we know the laws of the country, and I think when it comes to making films that depict the police, I think they were trying to differentiate themselves enough as to not get into any trouble.
I forgot about Mask Off Lady. She's the leading female role. Rena keeps her mask on the whole movie. This lady gets to take her mask off willy nilly. So
Is she
While
a
she
famous
lectures about
actress?
other
Do we
people.
know who she is? Maybe that's why they went, we need to show her face at all times.
I don't care.
No. Yeah. Again, back to
'Cause
being
that-
back to
again-
it being irresponsible.
It's just like even the small detail. Like they like when it comes to them thinking about whether they made a good movie, I think they do think they made a good movie. It got their messages
Absolutely.
across. But like little small
no,
things,
no.
like the guy,
Hold on.
the first,
So, wait,
the
Ian, I think just to correct you there, just because I think ever since the backlash, if you look at their social media, all they've been saying is, we know this movie is not perfect. So they're trying to mitigate,
Walk that back a bit.
that back a little bit,
I mean,
because in the early days,
the screen's not big enough to me to say like not perfect and like off
Exactly.
out to sea over there is the absolute
Exactly.
dog shit that
Exactly.
this is.
exactly,
Like the scene,
not perfect is an understatement.
Yeah, like this scene is like you have to get out of the car, make sure you put your mask on because COVID, and then he walks up and stands beside this lady who's waving her mask around. It's like, is she an anti-vaxxer? Is that? I'm not putting aspersions on the actress,
No,
but every scene she's in, she takes her mask off.
I disagree. I think it was just bad production. I just think nobody thought about it. I don't think there's any. I think you're by alluding to her potentially being even an anti-vaxxer. I think you're giving too much thought. You're giving these guys too much credit. I just think either didn't think about it, or like Uma said, maybe she's a famous face and thought we gotta show this money shot. And I think that's bullshit. I think again, fucking irresponsible.
Yeah.
It's just,
And actually, I think that explains a lot more of our reaction to this film, right? In the sense that
I had
remember
plans
watching-
for the afternoon, and this movie ruined them.
Well, I remember watching Inikalila, and that movie annoyed me to no end because that felt like a shameless cash grab, right?
Yeah.
Because people who were making that movie went, hey, there's a new government in power and they'll want some propaganda. So let's kiss their ass by making this film.
Wasn't the movie supposed to be, we don't think there's going to be a new government in power, so we're going to write this as like, on Earth 2, this is how things could have gone. Oh, wait! Pakistan Harbin 1? What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Crap! Okay. But, and that felt like a shameless cash grab, but, fine. This
This is as well. This is exactly that. This is
No,
the only
but-
frontliner movie in the world.
No, but this
check that?
feels like... Oh, well, no, actually, there's the China movie, Chinese Doctors, which is also a frontliner movie about how the Chinese doctors coped during the COVID pandemic, made a shit ton of money in China.
There was a
It's actually
TV show
showing in
called
GSC.
Frontliners.
So I want to go check it out. There's also a TV show on Channel 4 or ITV in the UK, which is, I think, a mini series that depicts the life of a frontline nurse
The
working
Help.
at an
Is
old
that
age
called?
home.
Is
I
it called
can't
The
remember
Help
what it's
or something?
called.
Yeah, it's the one
Yeah.
with yeah, I
It's
know
the
what you're
one
talking
with
about.
the actress from Killing Eve and Free Guy.
and
Free Guy.
Coma.
Oh, Free Guy.
Yes, it's a Jodie Comer.
Jodie Comer.
That's right.
and what's his name? The guy who was in most of Guy Ritchie's gangster movies. He plays a gang.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's
what's
in
his
it as
name?
well.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
And so, just going back, I mean, there are quite a few of them, and they are all seemingly a lot better than this. But
I want to go see
no,
Chinese
but-
Doctors because I like, slapping myself with rocks in the face repeatedly.
that's showing at GSC, so we can actually go watch that. No, but
That's
let's go back to
gonna be
this.
yeah.
This is, to go back to what you were saying, Bahir, it sends out a dangerous message. So it's even worse than any of those other bad movies that we've watched because there is so much misinformation in this film that is under the guise of actual fact.
But that's why I
Yeah.
say that it's intentional. Like they don't have the money or they don't have the wit to explain that it's respiratory. So what's a good thing that plays to, this is going to get me in trouble, what plays to the Malay race or whatever? It's like, oh, blood, they've got dirty blood. We didn't see the race of the guy on the bike, right? He was wearing a mask. It's like,
It was a Malay guy. I think it was a Malay
was
guy.
it Malay guy? It was like dirty blood is something you can terrorize people about. So people are paranoid about lesser blood, right? The blood of lesser races,
Yeah,
that kind
I
of
mean,
shit.
I
Like,
think-
it feels like when you go to that amount of trouble and you play the fucking Jaws theme, like I said earlier, while she's bandaging him up, it's like dun dun dun. It's not the Jaws theme, but it's like dramatic music plays.
But I think
Making people afraid of other people's blood is a very
Yeah.
specific
Yeah.
thing to do.
I think you're overthinking it.
I mean, it could be
don't
just-
think
could be
these
just-
guys
yeah,
are
again,
clever enough.
They couldn't
Yeah.
afford to do the outbreak sneezing in the theater thing because they didn't have the effects, right?
I don't think it's a question of cost, Ian. I think that is the extent of their writing ability. I think that is
Yes.
all they came up
Yeah.
with.
Right.
If this
It
was
was-
genuinely
it was
written
easy.
by committee, by
Yeah.
Sindri and Berhad, it felt like a bunch of people sat around a room and went,
You know, the
Okay,
Cinderia
pregnant
Bearhead is also
lady.
the director. It's just him, probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's his
Pregnant
company.
lady.
Yeah.
Person with anxiety, because we hear that's a thing in COVID, trapped inside
Mental
the
health.
house.
Mental
health.
Very important.
Yeah.
Kid who's bored,
And only bored.
And-
Nothing else, just bored.
nothing else. And policeman, because the biggest, I guess, travesty
He
being
can't see his mom.
Yes, no, not that. Treating your mom badly.
But
That's
not even,
the biggest
but not even on
travesty, right?
purpose. It was like it's not the they make it. He sits in a tent, looks tired. I think once or twice, but like all of that aspect of it is just that's the aspect it should be. Again, the New Amsterdam thing. They showed them being like in New Amsterdam. Again, it was a budget thing. When they're all in the PPE, you see the red marks on their face and wearing all the time.
Yeah.
Every time they take it off, those red marks disappear.
Well, there was one I thought.
In the New Amsterdam show, again, the beginning of it, they showed the start of it, a beautiful montage when they're wearing that, and they show them peeling it off at home, and they've got the marks and the welts on their face because it's just like that's what happened.
Yeah.
That you have to show that.
Yeah.
It's so
and I
fucking.
think there was an easier way to do this movie. Pick 1-2 guys. That's it. It's
Focus.
either the medical doctor.
Yeah.
It's either the cop. It's either the food delivery guy. Don't do all three. Jumble it across, and then every 3 minutes, every change of scene, you have one. There's a fucking fuckload of montages.
Yeah.
And 2, there's a fuckload of just like speeches. They're fucking government speeches.
The speech that the COVID fucking quarantine guy makes in the car park behind the hospital is like, get the fuck back into bed and shut the fuck up.
Also, there is nothing that connects that speech to anything that has happened with those individuals and him previously.
Because you never see anyone actually doing medicine. Like that's
but also it feels like that speech comes from a place where he needs to motivate these individuals. No. These doctors and nurses standing outside have been working their fucking butts off while you've been sleeping in quarantine. They know what it takes.
He chews out Rena.
They've been doing it.
He chews out Rena, fucking gold star for Rena, the best supporting actress. He chews her out after, like, he sits in his office listening to an uppity shithead fucking patient being like, I don't want to be in this room. I want to pay for a better room. Fuck you. Fuck your mother. Fuck everything. And she's like, would you please go back in your room, sir? Would you please do this? Would you please do that? Would you please do that? Just go back in your room or I'll have to tell management. I'll have to tell dad you've been bad. And dipshit over here sits in his office and listens to the whole fucking thing. And then pops out and says, he's like fucking Gary Cole in Office Space. Well, I wouldn't quite handle it that way, but I'm going to have to ask you to work the weekend. It's like, we have to be nice to these fuckers. It's like, where the fuck were you? You're my supervisor. Come out here and help me with this dipshit who is 16 feet taller than me and was physically, like, in my space.
No, but I would have taken the first half of that. I think it was in bad taste, but I would have gone with, okay, you were telling her to calm down, fine. But then to go into the room and apologize to that fucking kid.
Because he's a man.
On behalf of... Fuck off.
I think that's it. It's again, it plays into every time a woman does anything in this movie, she either dies or she's given out to. Again, I think that I hate when I go over my notes over and over again, but I seriously think it can't be unintentional. The fact that that guy is always giving out to women and always like talking to dudes is like, dude, I got you, bro. You know? He goes in and talks to that guy, and then also he has to be like cool with the guy praying in the corner. It's like you gotta sort him, my man. You got the pray. You got your pray going on. You can teach this young Turk some things, right? I'll catch you later, bro. See you at Moss, man. Peace out. Laters. Fuck you, Rena. He just like casually flips Rena the bird behind her back as he walks past.
This movie is I don't know. I'm just
hey, bro. Pensive much?
I'm oh god, I'm tired. I'm really fucking tired of these films. I cannot. I mean, can I just also say when a director refers to himself as Aji Boy, he can go and fuck himself.
What's that even mean?
What does that mean?
Fuck himself. Nothing.
Is that not his name?
It means nothing. I'm sorry. You've lived in Malaysia how long? Do you really think a father's gonna name his son Aji Boy?
No. That's a good point.
It's not. It's this stupid Malay thing of, it's the nickname I was given by some fucking idiot before 30 fucking years ago who worked in RTM for 70 years before that.
I haven't seen Bahir this angry in a long time.
No, because I'm just fucking tired of this shit, man. I'm just really fucking tired of this shit. I'm like, for a split second I was thinking to myself, should I just cancel my Netflix account just to prove it? Because I cannot. I just don't know why. Like Pasau Cow is one thing, right? There were some people who may consider it a little humorous. This is just, it's dangerous. It's pathetic. Ian thinks it's racist. I agree, it's racist.
Sexist and toxic. Racist, sexist, and toxic. The holy trifecta.
It is the trifecta of Melayu movies, right?
You said that,
right,
not me.
Umar.
You said that, not me. Put that in the SEO. I'm not getting in trouble again.
I'm a Melayu guy.
I'm not getting
looking
in
into
trouble
the camera
again.
And I'm saying the trifecta fucking Melayu movie, okay? Look, and you're right, Umar. If Astro First decides to pass on this movie, nobody else should pick this shit up. It should be uploaded on YouTube for free so it can die a slow and horrible death.
Yeah, we also got, sorry, just comments again. Have we Googled the production company and director? You guys have probably, you've an idea who they are anyway, right? You've never met them though, right?
I have no idea who the fuck this guy is, but I've looked him up. He's got maybe 2 or 3 other things. And look, it's not easy making a movie.
No.
Anywhere.
I'm amazed it always happens,
hard
but when you see what magic comes together when people do it right, or even do it half right, or accidentally fall ass backwards into a fantastic movie accidentally.
Yes.
It's amazing. But so much of this is bad. It leads to just like you've got bad things.
You know,
I'm asking for halfway competent.
Yeah, and Liana, sorry, we did talk about the football tackle at the beginning. It was odd.
That was great. It's a great football tackle. It's a yellow card, I will say, but it's a great tackle. I think a violent conduct, but yeah.
You guys, do you guys watch the morning show on Apple?
No,
I do.
Oh, you do? Okay. So there is a moment in the morning show, I think it's in episode, it's late in the season, and Billy Crudup's character...
Season 1?
Wait, Billy Crudup's in the morning show?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, boy!
I gotta go.
and Billy Crudup's character is
Sorry, Umar. Billy Crudup's amazing in the morning show.
He's incredible.
He's amazing in everything. I mean, that's obvious.
But even more so in the morning show.
I don't know. I think he might have. Anyway, so Billy Crudup's character is a guy who buys shows for the network, right? And he's having one of these upfront screenings, and they watch a show which is supposed to be a pilot, and then he passes on it, and the agent of the guy who's producing the show and directing the show and writing the show goes, why the hell did you commission this pilot? Why did you spend so much money? And Billy Crudup gives this really long baseball metaphor, but basically his point is, I spent all this money to basically prove to this guy that he shouldn't be making movies or that he shouldn't be making TV.
Yeah, because he's an executive, right?
Exactly.
Which applies back to my other thing earlier. You're an executive. You get into a big job. You get to do whatever the fuck you want for a while. If it's successful, and it's successful because nobody knows what they're doing,
you're a motherfucking hero.
Yeah, and if you accidentally greenlight Titanic, and then that works, then you're like, you have to do a hell of a lot of cocaine to figure out how to deal with the pressure of that and pick the next thing that doesn't come from James Cameron, because that's going to be hard.
But my point is, with this film, this is the example of why just give up. Don't make movies anymore.
Yeah.
Don't write movies anymore. Because we said before that it's a difficult job, and we're always amazed when people make movies, but it's because it's hard. Yeah. That's why we don't fucking do it. Because writing a film is incredibly hard.
This movie is the Dunner Cunning effect again, right?
Yeah.
And again, you're absolutely right, Umar. And speaking as a guy who's had to put together 4 fucking movies, it's not an easy job. I still don't know why anybody wants to do it. I've had people walk up to me and go like, so how do I make my first movie? My first reaction is always, don't do it.
Do you hate money? Is that why you want to make a movie?
It's not even hating money, dude. It's like,
you hate yourself. You got to put yourself through hell.
Yeah. A movie is a hard thing to do. A movie is a hard thing to do when you don't have money.
Yeah.
It's incredibly difficult, right? I've made 3-4 movies with no money. Each one takes up 2.5 years of my fucking life to do one fucking film. It's not worth it. If you're going to do this, it's really not worth it. Which is why I think they've got some money in the background somewhere. Because that's the only way. Because the only way anybody's going to make me make another movie is to give me too much money to do it.
Well, that's a cynical thing. No, that's a cynical thing. This got a lot of money from different places, and they're making a Frontliner movie. They got money off Netflix. Everyone got paid.
Yeah.
This is like a cash grab.
Absolutely, yeah. And I just think it's unfortunate because you're taking the worst kind of topic to be making a cash grab out of.
Yeah.
But of course, that's the best ones to get out of, to make in Malaysia, right? it's the government movies. It's the in this instance it's the medical propaganda. In previous incarnations, it's been almost always Independence Day movies. We've seen our fair share of those shit.
Political biopics,
military supportive movies.
Yeah.
I mean, look.
Malay Regiment.
Fair play. You've got that Ferrari in the background. That one.
That's
shot.
the one. I was trying to figure. I was trying to wreck my
Yeah.
brains. What was the movie that you pointed out? The Ferrari was in the background of the shot.
Yeah. That's.
Wait.
also the
Was it
one-
a Ferrari or a Lambo?
Lambo. I
can't
remember it being a Lambo, but I don't know.
Probably a Lambo. I'm sorry. I spoke out of turn, but it just. I'm like, honestly, this is why I got out of it, because it's not fucking worth it. It really isn't worth trying to make anything decent.
And then you get 3 fucking upstarts on the internet taking you out for know about your movie for an hour. Jesus Christ, who needs to put up with that?
Yeah.
No, and I think there's a way to approach it, right?
Yeah.
We watched Mencari Rahmat. We thought that was fine. We had a lot of issues with it, but the director was very gracious about it, right? And don't tell me you can't then come out and say, oh, we know the movie's not perfect. We're not talking about you using shitty cameras here. We're talking about you bad writing.
This isn't. What was that martial arts one that was in the jungle that they shot in like an old? I skipped Badang, so I can never refer to that one. But the other one, not Amazing Titan Man either. That was also terrible. That was the one they didn't use the right lenses. The one where it was like Maharaguru, which is the one that was shot on like VHS cameras in an old closed abandoned resort. Like
I skipped that one.
Yeah. I know that one. Yeah. I know
that was the one which was bad martial arts on Canon D6s in the jungle. That is one level. This is above that, but it's cynical. It's very cynical, is what it is.
It's cynical. Yeah.
But then I keep going back to the disservice that this does, because when people like Netflix and Disney Plus lend their credibility, because their brand has credibility, and when they lend their credibility to shows like this, I mean, we've spoken about the filmmakers, but also for the audience. We already have a Malaysian audience that is so jaded and cynical about local productions that when you put this up on your platform and people think, oh, it's on Netflix, must be good, let me click it. It becomes even harder
next Malaysian movie
for them to be convinced that the next
when
Malaysian
the cinemas
movie
are
is
open.
going to be good. Right?
Malaysian movie open. The cinemas like, I saw Zombie-topia. I'm going to tear them all with the same brush. I'm not going to go see that.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people have limited spend, right?
Yeah.
So you've got Shang-Chi and then some Malaysian movie. What are you going to spend your $20 on, right?
And here's the thing, like you're talking about people who are having to actually spend money. Okay, I'm talking about me, a guy who has to do this for a job, and I'm still reluctant to do it. Even though I know it will get the clicks, even though I know it will get the attention, I'm just like, I really don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to give them the oxygen to breathe, because I just want them all to die. Honestly, because
who the fuck is
like,
who the fuck is this guy?
I don't know who the fuck that guy is. He just showed up in one montage sequence.
I assumed you guys would know who he was.
Long time,
right?
Yeah,
he's like handing out food. I'm like,
wait, is he a famous actor?
I don't know.
It's
none of the ones I know.
Yeah, and I think, and here's the problem, right? It's because of movies like this, and you're right, Umar. It being on Netflix gives it some cultural cachet.
Kind of, it's credence. It's lending it credence. It's lending it like this is what a Malaysian movie is. Someone, if this is on, I gotta check. Did anyone check if this is available via VPN? Is this on US? If someone watches the Malaysian, if you click on the Malaysian genre and US Netflix is
Let me quickly
is this there at the top of the list? Is this what people think the best and the finest of Malaysian cinema?
That's the other problem, right?
It's not even that. It's not even that. My problem is now, after my wife has seen this, how am I going to convince her to watch Suatu Ketika?
But wait. She hasn't seen
You know
Suatu
what I'm
Ketika?
saying? She hasn't, but the problem is, if I keep showing her this shit,
okay, you see, no, but you see now you've triggered Ian.
Your problem was not showing her Suatu Ketika. It's been on Netflix for ages.
I know, but it's because she's got that mentality of Malaysian films are bad.
Najwa, if you're still watching, Davina thought it was really good, so there you go.
Yeah,
my praise.
It's really good.
Wait, hold on. Let's trigger Ian some more. Bahir, have you seen Suatu Ketika yet?
Huh? The look of fear in his face.
Yeah. Sorry.
Let's change the subject. La, la, la.
Wasn't he sitting beside me?
No, he didn't. He hasn't seen the film.
Oh, okay.
No, I've seen Suatu Ketika. I haven't seen Wira. That was the other
he
one.
hasn't seen Wira. Okay.
Yeah,
Wira. Yeah, no, Wira is the one also.
The one that will trigger Ian. Yeah. Hang on.
And
hang
you
on.
still haven't seen
I'm not
Mira.
sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I looked at the locations at the end. It was mostly Kuala Lumpur and around Selangor and stuff, but it did look like they. Have you seen Mira, Uma?
Yeah, I've seen it when over
Yeah.
the Malaysia day when we were doing
Yeah.
all of our Malaysian movie blitz.
Where the dad lives, I mean, maybe it's just the standard design for cheapo accommodation apartment blocks, but where they put the EMCO in this movie looks very like where the dad lives.
Yes. Yes.
It looks very similar, right?
And also, just a comparison on how they framed it in Wira versus how they framed the shot
It's a
here,
slum in Wira.
right? No, but it looks incredible
Yeah.
the way they framed the shot in Wira.
Yeah. And
Here,
again, I don't think
the
it's the same
camera
because
is about this far away from a person's face.
Yeah,
at
because
all
someone
times.
and I'll tell you because someone's like, holy shit, this is in Wira. Everyone's gonna know it's in Wira.
Okay, I have the answer to your earlier question, Ian. Frontliner is available on the UK Netflix.
Oh, crap.
It's available on the Japan Netflix.
No.
but not in the South Korean Netflix. So you're safe, South Korea.
That's a personal favor for giving us Squid Game. Netflix are like, come and flick this on them.
You are welcome.
And just to let me give credit where it's due, right? In the
Is there any?
aggregation. Well, no.
Are we
not
reviewing a second movie?
Not for this.
Oh.
Not for this
Oh,
film.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
But for Netflix, because in the aggregation of content, they have given us access to some things that I haven't seen in a long time, and whether it's Pimai
Yes.
Pimai Tangtu and
Spanajaya.
Spanajaya, stuff that I grew up
Yeah.
watching on TV, and I'm glad to be able to have that. Even the Yasmin Ahmad films,
Yeah.
there are very few places where we can watch it.
Yeah.
Things like Suatu Ketika and so on. And so, in the aggregation of content, yes, Netflix wants to be that one-stop shop for all of your entertainment needs, and I think they just grab as many things as they can and shove it on the network, right? And that's okay, that's fine, you do that. But when it comes to acquisition of, because this is the first showing of this movie, of Frontliner, and it was the first showing of Pasal Cow. It was branded a Netflix original, and when it comes to
It was buzzy though.
acquisition-
Again, you think about like
Yeah.
what do they call it? What do the readers do in Hollywood? The readers read a full script and then they just what is
Sure.
the thing called?
They write a cover page.
Cover page, yeah. So they write a
Yeah.
cover page where it's like, this movie, it's good. It's got a robot from the future that wants to kill a guy in the past before he's born. You love it.
But in the
It's cheap.
acquisition of content, all I want them to do is just watch a movie from beginning to end.
But someone
before
does.
They decide.
Someone does, and they fall asleep in the middle, and they go like, and maybe there's multiple boxes. Because like good movie is box number 1. Below that then is like buzzwords or current or like every social media that we've learned from 2 years of running the website. Recency bias. Ooh, Frontliners. That's so hot right now.
Frontliners.
The Paris
Yeah.
Hilton box. That's so hot right now. Right?
Yeah.
And like,
Yeah.
do we have? Let me get on the blower to Netflix Global. Does any of the arms of the Hydra have anything to do with Frontliners coming out? No. Is that Chinese movie? We can't buy that. It's in cinemas and GSC. All right. Well, we can have the first. We have to, like it's to be first. Sometimes it in the minds of executives, it's a Dante's Peak. What was the other one? The LA one. Volcano. It's called Volcano.
Volcano.
I forgot.
What about the volcano? What's it called?
Which one was first?
Dante's Peak.
That they speak. Doesn't matter. Both are fine, not great.
Yeah.
We only remember them because there was 2 volcano movies coming out at the same
Well,
time.
you say that, but then Deep Impact came first and was shit, and then Armageddon
It wasn't
was
shit,
success.
but yeah, Armageddon's what we
Come
think
on.
about because Deep Impact doesn't have Steve Buscemi fucking a nuclear device. So come on,
That's right.
of dry humping a nuclear device. Pardon me.
However, Volcano did have that magnificent bit at the end with the little kid going, "Look, they all look the same because they're covered in ash and going to get cancer."
Ah. And on that note,
On that note,
reminder, kids, in case you missed the beginning, COVID is very serious.
nobody's very serious. And also, wait, we're all human.
Yeah, and also take care of your umbrellas at this trying time.
Yeah. There's another one that me and my wife are now going to use in our daily language.
this is
which
gold.
Don't act pricey.
Yes, is that
just-
English?
yeah.
What was that in?
Oh, we need to explain this to Ian. You need to explain the
yeah.
Malay
Was it?
context.
No, I was assuming was it snobby because when I saw that I was like, this is a fail.
No,
No,
not snobby.
It's not snobby.
It's
Yeah.
Jual Mahal.
Yes.
Uh,
Which
at
directly
Google
translates
as
to
pricey or
being
expensive.
pricey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but
yeah.
the actual Malay context of it is very
Yeah.
different.
Right.
Yes, it is. It's sort of like how do I describe this?
Uppity? Are you an uppity bitch?
No,
it's
no,
not-
no,
it's
no,
not
no, no.
Because
uppity
It's
bitch, well, how do you describe it?
I'm trying to think. I can only think of it in practice. I'm trying to translate it to English.
Okay, so no, that's fine. But
Okay. Let me give you a context, right? If I invite you out for dinner, Ian, and you're like, "Oh, I don't know, I may have plans that night," and then I ask you again, and you're like, "Let me get back to you on that." I'll be like, "Hey, don't jual mahal, as in, don't make your time out to be so much, right? Come on and just
Oh,
give in
okay.
and come on for dinner with me, right?
Don't be precious
That
in a
kind
way.
of-
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Don't be
a- it's a-
precious. Yeah.
It's not even that. In this specific context, it's that thing of like you walking up to a girl and saying, "Hey, how's it going?" Right? But I wouldn't say she ignores you, but she's sort of like, I don't have time for you.
Aloof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she wants to maybe date you, but she's gonna make you work for it.
How'd you get?
And
How'd
that's
you
when
get?
the guy goes Jual Mahal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Don't be so hard to get.
Don't be so hard to
Playing
get.
hard
Yeah.
to get. Playing hard
Playing
to
hard
get.
to get. Yeah.
And
That's it, yeah, draw it out.
I also will be using my favorite quote from the movie. I don't mind dying. I'm old. That's a line. It's a line that was written again. It's like everything feels like temp. It's like the script version of a temp track, right? This is very first
Yeah.
draft. It's like I don't mind dying. I'm old. We'll workshop that into something a little more poignant later
Yes.
on.
Yeah.
What do you mean? There's no later? What do you mean you're not paying me to do edits?
Yeah.
Okay, fuck
what do you
you.
mean
Stick
there's
with
no
it.
second draft?
Yeah, I don't mind dying.
You mean,
I'm
wait, hang on. You mean I have to write more than one version of the script? I've already got the script. Why do I need to rewrite
It's
it?
here. Just give it to the
It's here.
actors.
Yeah. It's 90
I'm sorry.
pages.
I'm sorry. Just give it to the actor, because there was no
Actor,
plural in actors
No.
in the credits
No.
either.
Neither was there in the title of this show because it's Frontliner.
Just the one.
Okay, we also have okay. Just to finish off the comments, I think more noise should be made, or else they would think that they produced a winner. So we can do a few more shows on this. The only
I think there's enough noise, right? I
Yeah.
think this is 1 hour and 20 minutes of noise.
Yeah.
Naj was convinced, I think, of watching Swatikatika, so we're all good there.
Cool.
They actually have this in the States. It didn't show up on his list. I guess you have to want to watch a Malaysian film for it to pop up.
Right.
Playing Hard, Amelia corrected, Playing Hard to Get as well. We got corrections for that as well. So Hard to Get, Playing Hard to Get is what the chat says. Last
Oh,
chance.
thank you. Yeah.
Before we go, last
that didn't
chance.
pop into my head.
Last chance for the
Yeah.
chat. Any moments that you thought that we've commenting on that we've missed if you've seen the movie or would like to
Were
vent?
there any other sort of...
Oh, actually, for me, it was just the depictions of, not even the depictions of. It was how irregular the depictions of COVID were. Like how completely just out of sync. Like 1 minute they're sleeping outside the house, next minute they're in the car together. Neither one is wearing masks.
He jumped on the bed and did a big dramatic scene to save that randomer at the beginning, and then when his wife died, he's just like, okay.
I can't touch you. Oh no, that's weird.
Not even that. No, he just sat on the floor and said, "Oh God, my wife."
Yeah, when he comes home with his wife and they're just sitting in a different room 5 feet apart, they're still texting each other for some reason and not just talking.
Much better movie, 5 feet apart.
Yeah.
There's a ton of those moments, right? Yeah.
There was also...
The
there was also
inconsistencies are insane.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's just ridiculous. Yeah. There's also just one random moment where I thought it was going somewhere else that it never went because the writers of this movie don't have a heart. There was the second time they bumped into the kids in the park. One
No,
of the
different kids.
goes-
First time was different kids.
Sorry, no,
Oh,
but the
wait.
second time.
The curry puff?
Yes. Hang on. Let me
What?
say.
Yeah,
this,
yeah,
right? Yeah. So one of the kids was like, "Oh, I'm out here selling curry puffs my mother made at home," and then the police officer goes, "Oh, no," and then the kid goes, "Oh, but I've dropped them, so I can't."
Oh, you say drop? Was it because it's spoiled in the subtitles? And I was like, how did curry puffs
Yes,
go
she-
spoiled?
he
how
said
bad?
drop
How
them.
bad?
He says
cook
he
is
dropped it. Yeah. So then the cop, the lady, the maskless bitch police officer asks the boy, how much is it each? The boy goes, "Oh, 40 cents. At which point the cop goes, "Oh, that's okay, but I don't want to buy it because they're all bad now. They're on the floor." I'm just like, then why did we just have that conversation?
Yeah, that was
For a split second, I was like, oh, maybe.
And
she's gonna
also, it's COVID. This person has no money and he's selling curry puffs. Just give him the fucking money.
That's what I meant. For a split second, I thought, oh, maybe she's going after being the screamy bitch with no mask, being the screamy Karen.
She has a heart.
Yeah, she was going to say, oh, let me just buy it off of you, right?
No.
But she goes, no. After the entire conversation about how much it is and all that, she goes, no, I don't want it. It's fallen on the floor. It's bad.
Somebody sent them notes saying that there's not enough female characters in this movie, or they don't have enough meat to their roles, so they just switched one role from a guy to a lady, and that's this and this. They just added. That scene went nowhere. It was like you could have put anything. This is nothing. What is this? I thought she was going to take them and take all his money because I'm a cynical bastard.
No, I just thought that maybe
punch the kid in the face. Eat his curry puffs.
I just thought but it just feels like a pointless conversation to have had. If you're not going to do that,
that's an awful lot of this movie. Just pointless.
I just want to go back to what the filmmakers have been saying on social media, just to reiterate that notion.
Sorry, for social media, we got to get it all together at the same time.
Yeah, just to oh god, I love that. Yeah, just to reiterate what they were saying about this movie isn't perfect, but we tried our best. Listen. Perfect is not even a word you use in this context.
Yeah.
That's one. But also, I think this goes back to the conversation we were having even with Zombie-topia, right? The idea that you can't expect Malaysian audiences to support something for the sake of it, one.
Yeah.
Or support something because
so
much effort
this
into
is the lessons learned from the last interview. Is like, don't say, you should support it. No, make a movie that's good, then we'll support it.
Exactly.
Because if we lend our support to everything, then like The Incredibles, then no one's special.
No, but also,
No, but that's the thing. It's like if we support every Malaysian movie, they're all crap. No one would listen to what we're saying.
But not only that, it's just that nobody ever learns anything. I mean, it's not like anyone has actually learned anything over the last 3 decades. But at the same time, you call it out. And, Ada Hantu was a great film, and we really enjoyed that movie, and we put our support behind that movie, even though it was from the same people who did Pasar Kau, which we absolutely hated, right? And then...
No, it's not personal. The point is, it's not personal. We don't hate you as a director. We hate the movie that you made. Yeah. Thus making us hate you as a director. But come up with something good after that, right? Convince us that you're a good writer, director.
Or not.
Or don't.
After this, I don't.
In this particular instance, maybe don't.
Yeah. But no, just to go back to that, it's like, and I don't think you can take it out on the audience. And I don't, because that's what a lot of people do. I mean, fuck the critics, fuck us. But a lot of people tend to take it out on the audience and say, you know what? The audience is the problem, and they don't get it. And I'm like, actually, the audience is a lot smarter than we give them credit for, because the audience enjoys all of that other stuff on Netflix. They're watching Money Heist and binge watching that shit, and they're watching all of this fantastic content and acknowledging it for what it is, right? And they're making nuanced, and they're having nuanced conversations. Malaysian audiences having nuanced conversations about what's going on in Midnight Mass.
Yes.
On Twitter, we see it on Twitter, we see it on Instagram, we see it on Facebook, right? And so you cannot say that the audience doesn't appreciate that kind of content, or that you're making a movie like this, and you know what, Uma, Ian, and Bahir, this one's not for you.
That's fine.
This is not your but that's I disagree, because it's not fine, because it's not for the people who you think it's for either, because they hate it too.
No, my thing is that if you're gonna make something like this and you don't want to hear from the audience, that's fine. Keep it at home.
Yeah.
Keep it in your pants, but dude, keep it in your pants, man.
You can't make this complain about audiences hating your movie because they don't know what's good for them.
Yeah.
But then also hating Malaysian audiences for not coming out to watch your movie.
You never hear David Lynch complaining about that his movies weren't well received. I've saved them to my phone, to my meme folder. There's the classic one where someone's like, "Can you elaborate more on that?" And it's just him saying, "No." It's like he's talked about when you make a movie, the movie is you like what's it? I don't like to talk to you. Don't want to talk about the movie. No, the movie is the talking. That's the other one I saved. And it's the same way. You don't hear Chris Nolan complaining that like audience didn't get Tenet. They got it fine, just not COVID. There was problems, things in the way. Didn't like the way the studio handled it. Michael Bay never gives out about the fucking audience.
No.
Yeah.
He gives it about the critics. He might give it about like all sorts of other things, but it's not like the audience didn't go for it. It's like this one didn't hit. Move on.
Yeah. No, but it's again like we're all saying. I think that it's because we hear of it all the time, right? Critics like us, critics like Zaf, get a lot of crap because we're not supporting Malaysian films. Why should we? It's simple. We shouldn't watch this because it's bad. We've had to put our eyeballs and an hour and a half of just anger talking about this film.
And
Nobody else should have to go through that.
No matter how much you wash, they'll never be clean again.
Never, ever. Yeah.
But yeah, it is.
Souls
We
feel dirty.
yeah, we go out there, we go into the filth and do the dirty jobs, but we want to be wowed. We want to love your movie. We want to come out of it going, wow, did you see that? I want to go tell our friends. That's why we do this. We come back to why we do this. We come back to like walking home from school and telling a friend about the movie I saw that weekend with my auntie because he didn't get to see it. That's why we did it. Like, you should have seen this thing with the Memphis Belle. It's fucking flying and oh my god, he's trapped in the thing and oh my god. Like this is...
Oh no, and you know what? And the great thing is we still have that excitement on a weekly basis, right? When we saw Midnight Mass, when we see the latest episode of Ted Lasso or What If or something, we're texting each other going, have you seen it yet? Have you seen it yet? I want to talk about it because it's so cool. Have you seen it yet? And something should inspire that level of excitement in us.
Yeah. As did the ending of this movie where I don't know. I'm getting like, it's not cynical in my weird old age, but I'm getting like, there's a point, if you haven't seen Midnight Mass, the reveal in episode 3 or 4, I'm just watching it going, spooky, scary. Like that, and I had the exact same feeling.
Same.
When it's cut to a music video of guys singing in the rain at the fucking police checkpoint during the credits of this movie, and I'm like, what do you think you're doing? This is not...
And wait, the best part about it is when the camera shoots the scene from behind the yellow tape.
Oh, I didn't see. Oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't have enough slides lined up, but there is the one. It's just like he's like out to the camera like this. And
but here's the thing. I'm not surprised
because you've done shit like that before, haven't you?
I've been in that music video before. I've been in music videos where the drummer only has a snare and a hi-hat playing a rock song. And none of the guitars have any amps. I've been there. We also did it on the highway, But
in the rain, and also the lead singer didn't get when they said they were going to shoot it outside on the highway. He has like a straw hat and a light shirt on, and like no one told him. Oh, and by the way, the rain machine is on. And the rain machine, when they use it, they shot the scene where Nasir talks to his mum on the phone afterwards because you can see the water dripping off the sides of the tent, even though it's not raining in that scene.
You guys do know what a rain machine in Malaysia is, right?
It's a hose.
It's the rain.
Yeah, but you have to call the bomber to do it.
Oh, is that why they were thanking the bomber? Because in all the social media, they were saying the bomber were the only government agency that was being helpful to them.
That's how you get rain in Malaysia for TV shows.
Like on schedule. You get rain in Malaysia all the fucking time. You want it to rain on schedule, you got to call the bomber.
If you want it for your script, you call the fire.
It's either the bomber or the bomber, right?
Well, the
bomber is who you call to stop the rain.
Yeah.
Okay,
to stop the rain. Yes.
Got it.
That's a different story altogether. But what I was trying to say was that it's also pretty much all of Malaysian TV. That's RTM's shows, right? When they end, there's a music video, either a montage of the episode you just saw or the montage of the next episode. And sometimes they'll throw in the singer.
And there will always be a scene that's shot behind some plants. The leaves.
Yeah, of course, because mystery. Also,
I'm not going to talk about Malaysian rock music because I don't want to get completely thrown out of the country.
Can I just one more thing? I completely blanked on this.
Go for it, Columbo.
Frontliner. This is Dutch Angle the movie.
A little bit, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is it just me?
No.
Completely no.
That is a good spot.
Why was there a Dutch angle when he was walking up to pick up his tiffin? It's not a mystery. Is the fetus in there? Are you concerned? It's like, why is there a Dutch angle on the fucking tiffin?
I didn't know that his wife. I mean, I thought his wife was inside the house, just left it outside because they're in separate rooms. Because that's what we'd seen on social media. I didn't realize she was across the way until he said, "I rented a house opposite my unnamed wife."
Yes. Of which he tells to the person who just lost someone. Isn't he on the phone with the wife of the patient who just died?
Yes.
Oh, is he?
Is that who he tells?
I don't know.
Or was he telling someone else?
I thought he was getting COVID
remember
results or something. I don't know.
Oh, maybe. Because I thought he was bitching to someone about how, my life is so tough. I
That
had
was
to rent the house
the
across
Tiffin.
the street.
The Tiffin was a setup for the best Garth Marenghi's Dark Place style acting, where it's just like he's struggling to get it open, and then all of a sudden there's a lady's like, Doctor, come quick, he's critical. And he's like not wearing any PPE. And then he turns up and he's in PPE. And it's like,
Yes.
wait, did he die because you were eating your dinner?
No, because like also no. That makes sense. That's why the patient died, because he had to put on his PPE.
Yeah, that would be a thing, but they didn't show that. And the next scene, he takes off one set of gloves, but tightens his tunic. He takes off some things, he puts other things on. It wasn't. Fuck this movie. Thumbs
Dutch
down.
Angle the movie.
Yeah, Dutch angles all over.
2 thumbs down.
Way thumbs down.
Yeah.
Alright,
Dutch angles and housing estates built in the middle of nowhere that are still half complete and no one's ever going to move into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our review of Frontliner, which is unfortunately streaming on Netflix.
Oh, wait, sorry. We have one more.
Wait.
In before
Comment?
the buzzer. Nigel was in before the buzzer. Oh, I have a gripe. The music for this movie makes no sense.
Oh.
Oh, no,
yes,
wait. Actually,
also,
hold on.
yeah.
Not that it makes no sense, but the music from this movie is handpicked from the best of Chirika Rama, because it is the music from every Malay tele movie ever made. The plinky plonky pianos, the sad
also,
ballads.
No, but also it's not at the right time.
I particularly love where it's in the middle of one ballad, I think, around when the wife dies, and then it switches to either later in the same ballad or another ballad with no real mixing.
Yeah.
It's just we're gonna just
jump cut to that shit. Yeah. Just jump cut that shit. Nobody's gonna notice. This brings back so many just like of bad memories of me having worked on Malaysian TV shows. It's just like PTSD all over the place, man. You know, there was a moment where, and this is a joke I tell my wife all the time, right? There's a moment in every Malay movie where has to be 4 reactions. You know, when something bad's happened, you have a reaction, then you cut the scene.
Yeah.
They've got 4, right? So it's the.
Yeah.
It's just like.
And then cut.
Okay, and then cut.
Yeah.
I got it the first time.
It's
right?
like the George Michael song. They're playing for time.
Yeah, no, and
we have time to fill, and writers are expensive.
Yes, in my experience, they were playing for time. They need to hit the TV channel once 44 minutes. They're at 40 seconds.
And we only got one location left, yeah.
Just give them more reactions. It's, oh my God, PTSD all over the place. Anyway.
All right. Frontliner. Showing on Netflix, unfortunately. Don't waste your time. It is 90 minutes of your life you will never, ever get back.
And it's the first horror movie of October.
Hey! It is
our first horror movie, not the first horror movie.
Everything you hate about film. It is contrived. It is shameful. It is just a piss poor effort.
I still think it's intentionally
from everyone
sexist
involved.
and racist and toxic. I'm gonna go with that.
Of course,
that
also
too.
That, yes.
But
that
if we're interviewing the director, I'm not fucking sitting on that call.
I don't think anyone's coming on a call with us, man. Not after this. We'll send them the YouTube link when we ask for an interview.
And look, every description you just put on this movie, Uma, I will add like most other Malaysian movies and most other Malaysian TV shows, and which is unfortunate.
Which is unfortunate. This is the rule rather than the exception, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if you've already watched it, some of you, actually a lot of you have, because it's trending number 2 after Squid Game on Netflix. Yeah. So
we're really sorry. Yeah.
If you have watched this, reach out when you watch this YouTube video on delay when it's posted onto our YouTube channel, and let us know what you thought. Hey, let us know if we were completely wrong and that this was the best movie you've ever seen in your whole life.
Yep. And Jerry Derulo, we've saved him. He's not going to watch it, so he says thanks for that. Thumbs down from him.
Cool. Yeah, no, good for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, it's like I said, we've said this before, and we'll say it again. It's not often that we tell people not to watch a movie.
I try not to.
Bad movies. Yeah, even bad movies, we tell people, hey, go watch it. You know, it's an interesting watch, or you can see where the director made mistakes and all of that stuff. But this one was I feel it's so insulting to the audience, and intentionally so, that you shouldn't watch it.
Yeah, and also like don't watch it because it will give you the correct impression of most of Malaysian films.
Watch the first 5 minutes of New Amsterdam season 3 episode 1.
Or watch Pasal Kau.
It
Fun. That I think watch Pasal Kau, watch Suatu Ketika, go watch Wira, go watch Ro.
But if you're looking for frontliners stuff like that first 8 minutes,
Sorry, yes, go on, yeah.
it's staggering. Like it's the Bong Joon. I need to start making some regular ones we have in. It's the Bong Joon Ho. That is cinema, but that is daytime television. It's just like it sums up. I was like,
hits you in the feels.
Yeah, I was like, I'm in a field of emotion, like the guy at his mum's funeral. It made me think it was a show I was on the fence with, and I was like, I think we're gonna consign this one to the bin. And that season, that one 5-minute sequence kept us on for the rest of the season.
Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly. I think it was Obi Fin on Twitter said, I'm not sure. I may be attributing it to the wrong guy, but instead of watching this, go look for the Majalah Tiga reports on the frontliners and the COVID pandemic in Malaysia.
Okay.
I think Majalah Tiga did 3 pieces, and I think they
already paid tribute in a better way.
No, but it's not even paying tribute. It's a documentary about what's going on, about how it's people's reaction, about how they're dealing with it. So if you are curious, do that instead. Go look for the Majalah Tiga shows.
Actually, and you know what? Before we wrap, we've lived this now for 19 months now, close to 2 years. And we've all been on social media and we've read the news and we've read the dozens of stories of people who've been struggling to make ends meet and struggling to survive. And we've read stories about the people who've tried to help them. All of that's there.
Yeah.
And none of that
is here.
None of that is here.
Yeah.
So... I think you probably know a lot more already. So this movie is going to add nothing to your knowledge or your life, right? Yeah. Don't watch that, but thank you for watching us go on for like an hour and 40 minutes. It is most appreciated. And we will be back on Thursday, where we will be reviewing Dune and Free Guy.
Really, Free Guy gets that? Really? It's Dune and Free Guy.
Yeah.
Really?
Fucking Dune, bro.
I guess.
Been waiting 40 years for this.
You've been waiting 40 years. I'm okay. I'm excited. I'm not as excited as you guys are.
Yeah, the sleeper will awaken, Bahir. You'll be fine. I feel so cleansed now. I feel like I can sleep well.
All the toxins have been cleansed from my body. I can go back to being a regular human being now. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. This has been the Goggler Podcast.